Hypercalc, I'm going over some questions. This is section 4.4, which is the reference angle. Actually, I got a few of these, so let me start with the first one, which would be 55. Okay, so this is section 4.4. So 55 is to evaluate the sine, cosine, and tangent of 225 without using a calculator. Sine, cosine, and tangent of 225 without using a calculator. So let's figure out where the sine of 225 is. So this would be 90. This would be 180. And if you go 45 degrees past 180, if you go 45 degrees past 180, you will get 225. So it is a quadrant 3 angle. It's a quadrant 3 angle. So now we have to calculate the reference angle. So the reference angle will be from the terminal side, which is this, to the horizontal, which is this. So this right here is the acute angle that we are looking for. This right in here is the acute angle. So theta prime is going to equal to the original angle, which is theta, minus 180 degrees, because we're in degrees, so let me write it in degrees. So therefore theta prime is equal to theta, which is 225, minus 180, which is 45 degrees. So that is your reference angle. It is 45 degrees. Now, if you know that your reference angle is 45 degrees, you also know all the sides of the triangle. I'm going to say that one more time because that is the part where people get stuck. If you know the reference angle, you also know all the sides of the triangle. Because I asked you guys to memorize the 45, 45, 90 triangle and the 30, 60, 90 triangle and the unit circle. I asked you guys to memorize those 3 tools, and you're going to find that one of those 3 tools is what you will use when you do these problems. So I have this triangle memorized. It's a 1, 1, radical 2. That is the 45, 45, 90 triangle. When you convert the original angle into the reference angle, just don't forget that you also have to include a sign change. So the reference angle is equivalent to the original angle if you include the correct signs from quadrant 3. Meaning, in quadrant 3, the output of the sine of theta is negative. The output of the cosine of theta is negative. The output of the tangent of theta is positive. That's from the all students take calculus mnemonic that I gave you. For me, I find it easiest to remember that sine always behaves like the y, cosine always behaves like the x, and tangent always behaves like the sine of x over y. So if I know this, what the plus or minus is of y, I know what it is of sine, because it's equivalent. If I know the plus or minus of what x is, I know the cosine, because it's equivalent. If I know the plus or minus of y over x, I also know the plus or minus of tangent. So my brain just finds that easier than the mnemonic, but it's, however you do it is fine. So what we said was the sine is negative, the cosine is negative, and the tangent is positive. Now I'm just going to read the correct corresponding sides. So the sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse. So that's 1 over radical 2. I'm fine with that on test 3, but if you want to rationalize it, it looks like that. Right? If you rationalize it, you have to multiply by radical 2 over radical 2. And that'll give you this answer. That's just rationalizing it. Okay, the cosine is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So that's 1 over radical 2. Again, if you rationalize it, it's negative radical 2 over 2. And the tangent is the opposite over the adjacent, which is 1 over 1, or simply just 1. Okay, I'll pick up again on another video. I hope that was helpful. Again, rationalizing is just moving the radical to the other side, and your book will always rationalize. So if you're sort of confused by the answer, you might have it correct. You just didn't write it in the form they did. Okay, gang, catch you again soon in another video. Bye-bye.